more, Miss Anna?
Oh, we're live now. Hello, family. Come on, girls.
Yes.
Come on, girls. Hello, happy Saturday. Happy
Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. It's my little dance partner right there. I'm here with my two beautiful girls. They're going to introduce themselves. But first, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Sharita Morgan. I'm the Behavior and Learning Strategist coming at you from the Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute, where you can find solutions for your child's behavior and learning. What?
Privileges.
Privileges? No, challenges.
Challenges.
Behavior and learning challenges, okay? So we have a beautiful topic for you today. The girls are helping me out first, and then parents is just going to be me and you. We're going to get it in. Jazzy helped set everything up. Thank you, Jazzy.
Me.
Thank you.
I did the little thing.
She's a little
over
shy,
here.
but thank you so much for helping
Okay,
set
Shy
everything up. And then Maya is going to let us know what I'm going to be talking about today. Okay, she's going to read it for us, but she's going to introduce herself and tell us how old she is. Go ahead.
Slap out the way. So this is the date, 25th, 20, comma, 5/23, comma,
Okay.
23. So my name is Maya Morgan. Maya Morgan. And how old I am?
Good job.
100.
What?
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Come on, girl.
I am 5 years old. So this is the first topic.
Okay.
Get your mind right.
Well, before we get there, okay, first read this. This is actually the topic, okay? This is what we're going to be talking about when I'm explaining
Can
everything.
you erase this circle?
But read, it's okay. Actually, remember I told you, after you write your name and your age, then hand over the marker. And now read for us. Come on.
Turn your child into an honor roll student.
Turn your child into an honor roll student. So that's what we're going to create, honor roll students. For the new school year 2023 is going down, baby.
Down.
Like James Brown, honey. All right? Now read number 1.
Get your mind right.
Get your mind right. Read number 2.
Assess plus an action plan.
Very good. Assess what?
Assessment and action plan.
Number 3.
Pay attention to dentical.
To what?
The dentical. Detail.
Good job.
Pay attention to detail.
Very good. Number 4.
Developed a
That's a V.
develop
That's close. Go ahead.
a strong work ethic.
Develop a strong work ethic. And number 5, I had to read that for y'all. I don't usually read for my students or my kids.
Develop good study habits.
Very good. Give
5.
me 5. You did good, baby. Go, Maya. You did it. Go, Maya. You did it. Hey, come on. All right, good. And then we said after she introduces, then she is going to, the girls are going to go upstairs, be nice and quiet.
To play.
And nice and quiet so mommy can do her life. Thank you, girls. Say bye to everybody.
Bye, everyone. I hope you have a great Saturday.
All right.
And
Go upstairs with your sister.
That
Jazzy,
has
are we on live? Everything looks good?
all
You can see
that
us?
have times that you need to struggle, but you need to make that into a happy time.
Can you check and make sure we're on? Everything looks good? All right, everybody. Welcome. The girls were in here. We were at karate. Then we came back. So they helped me get everything ready. So now we're going to get started. Let's get started. We're going to create some honor roll students. It reminds me of last summer. Was it the summer before? But we had an honor roll campaign in the tutoring Tutoring Coaching Program, the Unlimited Growth Tutoring Coaching Program. And when I tell you, that's all we talked about all summer. We focused on creating, getting A's, talked about how much we love A's, right? And we talked about getting on the honor roll for the students. And then when they started in September, when I tell you there was a big campaign, everybody was focused on honor roll students, and we busted out 5 students. I had 11 all together. 5 students for first market period got on the honor roll. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing again this year. We're gonna go on an honor roll campaign, but just not only in my program, but also for you and your kids, whoever's watching. Start talking to them about getting on the honor roll, okay? But we're not just going to talk about it like it's an idea or talk about it like it's an overall goal. We're going to talk about what we need to do to create or turn our kids into an honor roll student. I don't care if your child has been struggling, reading below grade level, have behavior problems. A lot of my students that come into my program have those same issues, right? But we don't worry about that. We worry about what we want to create. Whatever they have going on right now is temporary, okay? Where they're going is most important, all right? So, before we get into it, I want to thank Maya again for reading everything for us. She's 5 years old. She's in kindergarten. I just got a message from her teacher that they are testing kindergarten students for gifted and talented in 2 weeks. In June actually. So I'm very excited about that. My husband and I are very excited about that. Both of my girls knew how to read and write and do math preschool age. Before they even started going into school, they knew how to do this early. So I'm a big advocate of us teaching our children from home and us teaching our children early. And it's never too early to learn how to read, and it's never too late to learn how to read, okay? So I just want to impress that upon you, all right? While we're getting into our flow here, okay? A little bit about me. Well, you met my 2 daughters. My husband and I met in high school. We're high school sweethearts, and we've been together for a long time, since 1997, okay? That's a long time ago. All right, I'm dating myself here, all right, y'all? And like you saw, we have 2 beautiful daughters. Professionally, I was a mental health specialist and a special education teacher. And I noticed when I was a mental health specialist, before I started teaching, that a lot of the kids that we work with to improve their social skills, their focus, and then their behavior, they struggle academically, a lot of them. And a lot of behaviors will come out, these acting out behaviors, being distracted, unfocused, getting out of their seat constantly, dropping pencils when it was time to do work. So I decided I wanted to teach. I wanted to improve their behavior and focus and teach them how to read, because a lot of them, majority of them, were reading far below their grade level too. So I'm like, there's a correlation here. The kids are acting up in class and not focused, not doing what they're supposed to do because they're not equipped to function in class to begin with. They're not equipped. They cannot read the work on their own. They cannot do the assignments on their own. So my major focus here is to equip our kids, fill in any holes in their math and literacy foundation, right? Help them catch up to their grade level, help them perform at or above their grade level, and improve their behavior and focus at the same time. So they no longer need somebody sitting right next to them to make them do their work. They no longer need somebody reading stuff for them. I don't want that. Or they no longer need an IEP. They no longer need these accommodations. We turn accommodations into goals. We turn accommodations into goals, okay? All right, so that's the background real quick. Had to let you know. But also I want to let you know about my Mother's Day promo going on all of May, where and you enroll your child into the Unlimited Growth Tutoring Coaching Program. Then 2 free sessions when you enroll. 2 free sessions, okay? So you want some more information on that, send us a message, and we will give you more information, okay? Also, after this, I'll be here probably around 12:45 when we finish here to answer all of your questions. So you have any questions about my tutoring coaching program, or if you have any questions about the live, the topic for today, again, send us a message. We'll send you a link and you can come on in, okay? All right, so let's get ready. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, so number one, let me make sure everything is looking good like you know you should. Okay, good. All right, so number one is get your mind right, like Maya said. So we're turning our child into an honor roll student. Get your mind right. Why is that the first thing? We're talking about mindset here. Oh, that's me. We're talking about mindset here. And if you think that your child can't get on honor roll because they have low grades, so they have a lot of behavior problems, and that's the last thing on your mind, the first thing you need to do is to clear all that out of your head and understand that all that is temporary. That's not who your child is. That's not who they were meant to be. That's not where they're going. It's just where they are right now, okay? And anything is possible, and it is possible for your child to start doing their work, focusing, start being more successful on their tests, start getting A's, right? There's a method to get into A's, and I tell my students all the time, an A ain't nothing but the correct answer over and over and over again. So we keep going till we get the correct answer. We don't worry about getting wrong. We just keep going till we get it right. And when they get that feeling of getting a correct answer, they're so excited they want to keep doing it, right? And when you get your child to that point where they're focused on getting the correct answer, improving themselves, they start to move up. Their grades start to improve, and next thing you know, they're getting A's. I can't tell you how many of my students, they start saying, Miss Sharita, I got 100 on my test. Miss Sharita, I got 95 on my test. Miss Sharita, I got 90 on my test. Miss Sharita, I got, you know, after we did the honor roll campaign, that's all I kept seeing. Moms were taking pictures of their schoolwork and texted it to me. The kids were showing me in class. They had it ready when class started to show me their good test grades, you know. So get your mind right. Don't believe for a second that your child cannot do this, okay? Just because they haven't done it, or just because you've been told that this is just too difficult for your child, does not mean that they can't do it. So when you get your mind right, you say, I want my child to be on honor roll. Ask yourself, what do you actually want? And don't sell yourself short. Don't say something low. Don't say at least a C or at least a C plus. Don't say that. I want honor roll. I want to see A's and B's, right? When you say that until you believe it, and then start pouring that into your child, and let them know that we're gonna get an A. Like that's what we do. We get A's up in here. We get B's up in here. How we gonna do that, right? Let's do this. That's what we're gonna do. So start talking to them, and then have them start talking about it, okay? So that your mind can be right. Your mindset could be right for this journey, because this is going to be a journey, but when it starts happening, oh my goodness. So that's the first one. Second one is assessment and action plan. There's always an assessment. I always assess my students when they first come into the program, and I'm assessing them constantly. I'm so nosy in their faces because I want to see growth. I want to see progress. I want to see what didn't work and why, and figuring that out, right? So that we can fix that and go to the next level, right? And keep it moving. So, hello, Latrice. Thank you for joining us, okay? So the first thing you want to do is assess where your child is right now. What are they missing that is preventing them from having better grades? If they are reading below level, that's part of the assessment. What level is your child reading on right now? What should they be able to read? What level should they be able to read at, okay? And then figuring out if they're reading below grade level, why? What's missing? Listening to them read to figure out their patterns, like, oh, we need to fix that. We need to fix this. We need to improve that. We need to improve this. That's the assessment, okay? Whether it's reading, whether it's math, and also behavior and focus. What's slowing them down? What's stopping them from reading and functioning at or above their grade level? It's possible for them. It's not just possible. it's likely, and it's not just likely, it's definite when you have the right plan in place, right? So what's stopping them? What's holding them back? All right? That's the assessment. What's holding them back right now? What are they missing? Then the action plan is whatever we said is holding them back, whatever they're missing, we're going to have an action plan for each thing. Each thing. And then type it up, write it down, type it up. And this is the action plans that I do for my students when they come in. And then I meet with the moms every month to look at the action plan and see how they're doing. You know what I mean? And what goals we're working on and what they've accomplished and how they've improved and where we need to go next. This should be constant. So this assessment and action plan, assessment should be ongoing, right? And the action plan should be looked at and reviewed and tweaked, okay? Adjusted, improved on every month. Set a date in your calendar. Like, this is where I need to look at this action plan and go over it again so you can see the progress. We just did an action plan last night for one of my students, one of my youngest students, and we looked at all his goals, and we saw that he's made progress in all his goals, and a lot of progress in most of them, and some of them we still need to work on, but we just realized, wait, man, he's improved a lot since he's been here. That's why you want to have it month to month. Because while I'm working with him, I can see improvement. I tell him, look, man, I see you doing better in this. I see you doing better in this. I'm so proud of you. Look at you. That's what I'm talking about. I'm saying it. But when I look at the action plan every month and I see, I'm like, whoa, there's some real growth going on, right? And it's also good to look at it every month because when you start to feel discouraged or you start to feel like it's not working, but you have your monthly action plan review coming up, and you look at that action plan, and you're like, I see growth here, 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 here. That helps you keep going, all right? So, assessment and action plan, all right? Next, hey, Wanda. Welcome. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. I love Saturdays. This is not off day, but my off day is Sunday, and then most of Monday, okay? But Saturday is the day off for the kids, so I love when they are home and we're not running around going to and from school and everything, and we get to work out in the garden, which today we really can't because it's raining outside, but we'll get it together. Linda, welcome, Linda. Wanda says, God bless you. My daughter is in the 3rd grade. She might have to repeat 3rd because of reading. Oh my gosh, I hear you. Like, and I know that is so tough for a parent to hear. First of all, as moms, we send our kids to school. We want 2 things. We want them to be safe, right? And we also want them to do well. So when we get reports back that they're not doing well or they're struggling, it's tough for us. So I feel you. Well, I feel your pain for real. Listen, we're gonna be talking about some tips today that can be implemented over the summer that will help her, okay? So when she starts school, she starts a little better than she left. And that's what we want. Another thing is, y'all, I've been talking about, I just did a video on homework tips, okay? We're talking about turning our kids to an honor roll student. We're not talking about this in September, or for some of my students, I have students that are in Georgia and some in Las Vegas, they get out earlier and they start later. So we're not waiting till September, we're not waiting till August. We're starting now so that when they get to school, they are ready, okay? All right? So I know they think it's summer break, I'm done. That's not what Miss Rita thinking, my poor students, okay? Assessment and action plan, all right? Number 3, pay attention to detail. This is for them. So first, you get your mind right, and you help them get their mind right. Don't let them say anything like, I can't do it, or this is hard, none of that stuff. You change their language, okay? My students know. If one of them say, this is hard, I can't do it, everybody says, because they know they're not allowed to say that, right? Then you do the assessment and action plan, right? And then pay attention to detail. This is for them. This is for them. It's for us moms too, but it's for them. Our kids need to learn. For those of us who struggle, our kids need to learn to pay attention to detail. When they're doing their work, they need to have a standard to how they do their work. When they're reading, they need to have a standard to how they're reading. Pay attention to every detail. Like, my students have to read everything on the page, and you're not going to miss a word or a letter sound, honey. pay attention to detail. This helps them be much better students. They need to have a connection between themselves and their work and their paper, okay? Whatever they are learning. But if they're not paying attention to detail and they just kind of going over it, they're not absorbing enough information, they're not learning. If they have to do it and then go back and do it again and go back and read the sentence again, whatever, let's teach them to pay attention to detail. They are going to grow and build up that muscle, and that's going to help them when they go back to school. And it's also going to help them with studying, all right? But also with us, pay attention to detail. We want to notice any change in their learning. So I recommend, like for reading, if you're working with your child on reading, that they read the same page day after day until they master that page, or the same paragraph day after day until they master that paragraph, right? And we have to watch and pay attention for changes or progress. He couldn't read this word yesterday, but he can read it today. He didn't know the CH sound yesterday, but now he just got it, okay? He got the CH sound. Oh, today he was able to now pronounce the suffix shun at the end. Now, he's, you know, we have to pay attention to details so we can see their progress. Just listen and observe. Resist the urge to go in and talk so much and help so much and lead and guide so much. Don't worry about that uncomfortable silence, right? My daughter was up here reading because I wanted to read it for you guys. I said that, but I let her look at it again. And I let her break up each word again. And I let her get it wrong. And then so I can really hear how she reads it, how she sees it, how long it takes her to focus, and then help her to read each part herself and pull it together. But not in the beginning. Not in the beginning. I never correct in the beginning. I never coach in the beginning. I just listen first. And my students mess it up a couple of times. But while they're messing it up and paying attention to detail, getting on it, they start to give their brains a chance to look at it, look at each part, figure out each sound, bring them all together, and then be excited because now they were able to read the word and celebrate it. Give them a chance, okay? When we teach them to pay attention to detail, that helps them work through this stuff on their own, so they need less help, okay? It helps them become better at studying. It helps them not feel so much like I can't do this or this is so hard because they're in it, okay? So we got number 1, get your mind right. Number 2, assessment and action plan. Number 3, pay attention to detail, okay? We're helping our kids do that this summer. Number 4, develop a strong work ethic. Now listen, y'all. I'm old school. I come from the old school. And I know that when I was a kid, hello Mariah, hello Tita. Thank you so much for joining us today. We got a good one. Turn your child into an honor roll student, y'all. It's going down, okay? It's going down. When I was young, we have no idea how important this is when it comes to our kids' performance in school. We moms have to step it up a notch. When I was younger, we had chores and we had standards. We had to do it, and our parents had to approve. It had to be done right, okay? But our kids nowadays get so much help, and there's so many easier ways to do it. And if they don't get it at first, somebody's always there to help them, right? That they've lost that. That's okay. We at home, we can bring that back, okay? So developing a strong work ethic has to do with chores around the house, contributing to the family, okay? Having responsibilities around the house. When they get up on the weekend, instead of just laying around and playing a game and being on the phone, they are working. They're doing things. We had to get up this morning and get to Maya's karate class, and we came back. Jazzy was helping set this up, you know what I mean? While I was downstairs on a meeting, Maya came and her responsibility is to read the board. I always give them responsibilities. Jazzy, you're going to be doing this. Maya, you're going to be doing this, okay? They also work out in the garden. We have a gardening growing now. That's not me. I tried to do it myself at first. That's too much work, okay? And I'm like, no, let the kids come in. They've learned so much. But they're back there potting plants and planting and sowing seeds and helping with the watering and pulling weeds out and, you know what I mean, trimming around the garden and everything and making soil. Let them get their hands dirty and work. And then also now that transfers over able to, when it's time for them to sit down and do their work, they know how to function independently. They know how to get in there and think and figure it out. They know how to work until it gets done. This short attention span to sit down and start a little bit and then wait for you to come around and help them, we got to stop that. We got to get that out of the way. We want them to work and work your best and have standards. I want your name on the paper. I want your date on the paper for my students. You have to write out the whole day. I don't want to see the numbers, okay? You know what I mean? Right? So you see how Maya did this? She did that mess in school. In my class, she has to write May, right? And then what's today? The 20th, 2023, right? And they learn how to, my 5-year-old and my other 5-year-old in the class too, kindergarten, they learn how to spell September, they learn how to spell October, they learn how to spell December, because they had to write it every single day. Write it out, okay? I want it neat. I want spaces between your words, okay? When I give them a writing prompt and they have to write for 8 minutes, no talking. I want those pencils moving, okay? This is helping them with their focus. They might think Miss Sharita's tough. Yeah, Miss Sharita's tough. I'm tough, but I love them too, and they all know that, right? But not a word. When I give a writing prompt, I set the timer and I say, all right, let's go, okay? No talking, pencil moving, and I tell them when you're done, you're not done. Because when you're done, check over your work. Make sure there's a capital letter at the beginning of each sentence, a period at the end, circle any misspelled words. See if you can fix your own spelling. And then if you still have time, write another sentence. I'm not playing, okay? I'm not playing here. Because I don't want them to write. I don't want my students, I don't care how they feel about writing when they come in. If they're nervous about it, if they feel like they can't write, or if they have focus problems, if they always want to get out of their chair, all of them end up sitting down, focusing on their writing, and then getting it done. Because I have standards and requirements. They have to, this is their work ethic when it's time for their schoolwork, okay? This is their work ethic. So I don't care what their situation is when they first come in. They're not sitting down and they're saying, I need help, or what do I write? Or can you help me? They're not allowed to ask how to spell things. I always coach them with spelling, but they're not allowed to ask how to spell when they write. So develop this strong work ethic by having some standards and some requirements for when they sit down and do their work, and focus on that until they get that ingrained in them, okay? And have expectations for how good they're going to work. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be right, but it better be your best. It better be your best. And then if the timer runs out, and I ask everybody what you got so far, and somebody didn't finish, or somebody played around, they get skipped. I'm gonna start working with the other kids. Maybe I have a spelling game that we doing or whatever. This student who played around, 8 minutes, start over. I want my work, okay? Right? So develop a strong work ethic. Another thing I want to say about that is, in school, there's a lot of technology that they can use at home too, but when it comes to doing assessments, when it comes to do a lot of stuff, they can use a computer, they can use a calculator. If you want your child to develop a strong work ethic and you want them to grow and learn faster and really get their thinking at another level and think things through and figure things out and keep going until they get it right, remove all of that stuff. Paper and pencil. Paper and pencil, or paper and pen, and have them connect with the page, whatever they're reading, whatever they're working on, and have them work on that, and have them work on that, and have them work on that, and create something beautiful. Create growth, create understanding, okay? They can have a board where they come, you see Maya, she really thought she was a teacher. They can have a board where they come and they write and they teach their siblings, okay? Or they can sit at a table and they can write it on the paper and hold it up and teach their siblings, okay? Strong work ethic. So let's get our kids working this summer, okay? Don't let them sleep late, be on the game, and playing around. At first they're gonna fight, but after a while, they're gonna feel really good that they've accomplished something and they're getting better, and that's what we want. We parents cannot have our children, the initial push that they give us, and the resistance and the whining and it's so unfair. We got to see past that and keep going to get to the point where, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just read it. I got it right. This is what I see from the students who at first they struggle and they don't think they can do it, and then they keep going. I push them, and at first they don't like it, but then they get to a point where they feel so good that they were able to accomplish that. Don't you want that for your kids? Don't you want, I know y'all do, I know you want your child's self-esteem to improve because they are now being successful. Every mini success counts, and all those mini successes then add up to a major overall success, okay? Hi, Mariah. And said, yes, my daughter, games and tablet. Oh my gosh, she sound like every other kid, right? That's all they want. We should make a song on games and tablet, games and tablet. That's it, right? That's all they want to do. And my youngest, she had a Kindle Fire that she's had for a couple years, and she, in the morning, she was like, Kindle Fire, when she get up, we like, no, okay? And then when it's time to go to bed, she wants to play the Kindle Fire, we're like, no. So what we did, actually my husband took away the Kindle Fire for a week, and we replaced it. I'm going to tell y'all what happened. We replaced it with activities that she needed to do to grow herself. Reading, she's way advanced for 5 years old. Math, she's now advanced for 5 years old as well, but not as high as reading. That was her area that she needed to work on. So I had an independent independent work packet that I had printed out and designed just for her. It's customized. Customize our kids' learning, because you know your kids best. You pay attention to them like nobody else, right? Customize their learning. So I stapled it together. She had to work on that. And then also you had to have independent reading time, right? She likes to read anyway, but I put more of it into her day. So she had to just go and get a bunch of books and sit there and read quietly instead of that game. After a while, she wouldn't think about that game. When it was time for me to do her hair, she's like, can I get the book? Can I get a book and read? She asked for it, okay? Because now she's into the book. So we just have to redirect our kids over to something that's going to grow them. They can't choose. They don't know what's best for them. We know technology is really addictive, right? You know, the phone, I had to put my phone in another room, and like, I'm not going to use my phone for an hour. I reached for it 10 times within that hour. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm bugging, right? So we know the effect on us. Our kids really cannot have that much access to these devices, right? The other thing that happened is she went from reading storybooks. She was reading a bunch of storybooks, right? And it still was above kindergarten level. Now she's starting to read chapter books. And she just finished her first one, okay? So we never know what's going to happen when we remove something that our kids are focused so much on and we don't feel like is growing them. We never know what happened. Growth is unlimited. That's what I love about growth. It's unlimited, right? Hello, Miss Cheryl. Hey, lady, how you doing? Hello, Muhammad. Thanks for watching. All right, so we got a lot of good stuff going on, y'all. We're talking about turning your child into an honor roll student. Number one, get your mind right. Understand that your child can get on the honor roll. So anything that your child is going through right now, or you going through with your child right now that says they can't, just take it and put it to the side, and tell yourself that's temporary. Clear your mind out, like, and just focus on the goal. And once you start to feel it, and when you sink your teeth into it, then pour it into your child and have them start focusing on honor roll. Even if you have to just make signs and put it all around the house so that they can start to focus on getting on the honor roll, getting the A's and B's, okay? That's another tip I just thought of just now. Assessment and action plan. We always assess to see where our child is right now, and then we develop a plan to get them there, okay? Pay attention to detail. We teach our children to pay attention to detail when they're reading, when they're writing. We have high standards for how we want the sentence, how we want them to read everything, every letter sound. Don't skip. That's not what, you know, you think this what it might be, so you just substitute and put another word in its place. Go back and get that word. I'll be saying, to my students, you left the kids at the park. Go back and get them, okay? And then develop a strong work ethic. Man, we talked a long time on that, right? Because I really believe in that. Have them working. This summer, have them working. My kids going to have activities planned in. They're going to have a structured day. They're going to get to sleep a little later. Not as early as school, but it's still going to be early. They're still going to get up early. They're going to have structure in their day that's going to grow them and things they want to do, right? Interest-led learning, but also things I think they need to do because I'm their mama and I could do that, right? To make sure that they grow. So when they go back to school, they go back better than they left. That's what we want. We want our kids to go back better than they left. And my kids have always been homeschooled, whether they've been in public school or not. I homeschooled my oldest daughter for a couple years. They've always been homeschooled. Breaks, summertime, right? And then last one. This is the last one, and then like I said, if you want to go to the Zoom meeting afterwards, send us a message and we will provide the link for you. I'm going to be there to answer your questions. You have any questions about the live, or you have any questions about the Mother's Day promo? 2 free classes when you enroll your child during the month of May, all May, because we celebrate mothers all May, okay? I'm a little extra when it comes to that, right? And Father's Day is coming up too, so who knows? It might be a promo there too, you know, but Mother's Day, this is the Mother's Day promo, 2 free classes when you enroll your child in the month of May, okay? And you want questions about that, or just enrolled in my tutoring coaching program, send us a message and we'll provide the link for you to join, and we'll get it in. That's the after party, honey. That's the after party, okay? Let me see who else I want to say hi to. Hello, good morning, Jabrika. Hello, and Julie. Thanks for watching. Good morning. Happy Saturday, y'all. We are creating honor roll students. We're getting our kids ready for the new school year before the new school year starts. They still in school right now, and we're getting ready for it. They're going to have, like I said, my girls are going to have fun. We're going to go on trips, right? Just like, you know, back in the day, we used to go on a lot of school trips. They don't do that so much no more. But we're going to be going to different places. We're going to be going to the zoo. We're going to be going to the museum. We're going to be going to the farm. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be going to different trips and everything. We can learn and have fun, right? But also, they're going to have stuff in their schedules that's going to grow them so they can go back better than they left. All right, number 5. Develop good study habits. We want our children, oh my gosh, our kids need to know how to study independently. Know how to sit and look at something and work on it every single day. So whatever action plan you come up with for them to work, like if it's spelling words you want them to know by the end of the week, we can customize a spelling an action plan. And that's their study plan. So every day at a certain time, they are doing this thing every single day. They're not going to the bathroom. They're not asking for help. They're not getting out of their sleep. They're not eating while they're doing it, okay? The reason I'm saying this is because we want to create a situation where it can transfer into the classroom. That's what this is all about. This is why we improve our children's behavior and learning from home. Is we want to improve, we want to create a classroom environment at home so that when they are in school, it's automatic. This is just how I do homework now. This is just how I do classwork. This is how I pay attention. This is how I learn. This is how I get prepared for success. That's one of the ways my students earn points in my program, okay? This is how I get prepared. Nobody's doing it for me. I got this, okay? So we want to make sure that they are sitting down when it's time to study. They know what time it is. This is their area. They're doing it alone, and they're practicing every single day. And then at the end, you can do the assessment or whatever you wanted to do, or they could do an oral presentation and tell, or they can teach their siblings, right? But develop a study routine this summer for your child to know and be good with, so when they go back to school and they have homework to do or they have a test coming up, when they come home, they're not just on the game and on the phone and all this other stuff, okay? By the way, that's another live. I got a lot to say about that. But they come home and they know they have to study. I have this test coming up. This is my study routine. This is my study plan. And I know when I do this, I'm going to learn it. I'm going to master it. I'm going to do really good on this test. This is my goal. My goal is to get an A. I'm going to work on this until I get an A. But they must have time to sit by themselves and work on this every day. And also sprinkle with some coaching from you, observation from you. But I really have to stress the sitting down on their own and doing their work. Because the way they do homework at home, a lot of times is the way they do classwork in school. If you don't want, hold on, I'm gonna get, this is Minnie Mouse. This is Maya, she put this down earlier. Okay, so a lot of us do homework with our children like this. We both sitting down, we over here, and we teaching them, we sitting down next to them, we telling them step by step what to do. We're erasing, we are correcting, we're doing all this stuff, and what they doing? They chilling. You know what I mean? Because we're doing most of the work. And then we walk away, they start, woo, get on focus, getting out of their chair, staring around, because they want us to be right there next to them. Because and they start to think, and they start to make this a thing. And in school, it's the same thing. The only way I'm going to stay focused and do my work is if somebody's right next to me or somebody comes back to get me focused. So have your child have a study routine and a study time. They are not to get up. They can't talk. They can't get a snack. They have to use the bathroom before we start, right? Have them sit down and just work on that until the timer goes off. And then when the timer goes off, when you go back, you look and see how they did. But if they didn't do what you told them to do, then tell them, all right, I'll be back in another few minutes, and bounce. Okay? Bounce. Okay? So that they can start to really focus on it. Like when mom comes back, when she finished in the kitchen, she cooking in the kitchen. When she comes back, I need to have this done. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. All right? So I'm going to tell y'all one more story. And it's one of my first students. I started teaching, he was in the 5th grade, and his dad likes, you know, the improvement he saw. So he asked me, could you do something with my daughter? Could you teach my daughter too? She was 4 years old. And at first, I sent out an ad, and I was just like, just 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, and just literacy. That's how I started. So at first, I was a little hesitant, but I said, all right, you know, fine. Yeah, absolutely. So I started working with her. She was my first youngest student, okay? And from then on, I got more requests. So I teach from 4 years old all the way up to high school, and then I have my first college student that I started working with a month back, okay? And we do literacy and math now. We're going strong, okay? All right, so homework time was a big time, and a lot of y'all identify with this. When it was homework time, my student wasn't focusing on her homework. I think she was 5 years old by this time, and she would be crying. Mom would be getting frustrated. Mom trying to cook, got the baby, walking back and forth. She's still not doing it. She's not sitting right. She crying. Mom's fussing. You know, all that stuff. We've all been there. I used to do that with my oldest daughter, right? So I told her, well, first of all, they were in the living room, sitting at the living room table, the coffee table on the floor together. So she back and forth, sit on the floor with her, try to get her to do her work back and forth. I said, no, move her to her room. Let's set up a little desk in there. So she sat down in there, and she had to do her work. And she was calling her, and I told her, if she calls and if she cries, no matter what, don't go in the room. Go by the room and check on her. Say, when I come back, this is what I want. And what you're going to do is you're going to come by and check on her. You're going to look. You're going to get on your tippy toes and peek over and look to see if she's doing what you told her to do, if she did it. If she didn't do it, then you go and come back later, okay? But don't go in the room. So what I did was I created that space for her daughter to function independently and know I actually have to do this now. And if I can't get out of it by throwing a little tantrum, okay? She went from doing a tantrum and crying and everything to doing her work by herself and reading the directions herself and reading the problems and being able to do everything by herself. And then her mom comes and then she has to, you know, direct her a little bit here and there, but her homework was good. So it's so important for us to create that distance, because you know what? We're not in the classrooms. We're not in the classrooms when they're supposed. Let me see the time. Oh, I gotta get out of here. When I have to end the line. We're not in the classrooms with them. We can't be in the classrooms and at home, or in the classrooms and at work, or in the classroom and running our businesses at the same time. We need our children to function independently. So we got to stop sitting close to them this summer on their way to becoming an honor roll student. A big part of that is going to be for them to learn how to function independently and do their work independently. So if you are one of those moms like I was that's sitting right next to your daughter and felt like or son, and I can't walk away to do this, to make a phone call, use the bathroom, cook dinner, tend to the other kids, or else she won't do it, get it done, it's time to make a change right now. When they start to become independent, that's going to help them grow in their learning, and it's going to eliminate a lot of behaviors. And when they go back to school, their grades are going to start to improve. And next thing you know, you're going to start getting A's and B's. And now we're honor roll students, okay? I wish y'all all the best. I want you to have the best school year. I want you and your kids to have the absolute best school year in 2023. And we are getting ready right now, honey. We getting it in. You hear me? Okay? I'm going over to the Zoom room right now. So if anybody has any questions, come on over and we'll be here to answer any of your questions, okay? All right? Believe in yourself. Believe in your child, honey. And always remember that growth is unlimited. We got this.